Hello, elegant listeners, and welcome to Go, my favorite sports team. Today is kind of a different episode. We've got a special guest with us today, but before I introduce them, I do want to say that while we are a sports podcast, we talk about everything athletic. And today we are going to be talking about the athleticism related to being a musician and singing. And to talk about that, I have a very special guest, my good friend boyhero, who is an extremely talented, multifaceted musician and is incredibly good looking. I mean, just look at him over there. So
that was a joke. You weren't supposed to use that one.
No, I use all of that. I will use all of them. So, but Dan, how's it going?
It's going very well. Just got off tour, playing guitar and doing playback, backline, and monitors for an artist named Scene Queen. We just did Warped Tour, full US run, and I'm back in Los Angeles for like 3-ish weeks until I do it all again in Europe and UK.
Yeah. It's really cool because the idea of having you on the podcast has actually been in my mind for a long time, but it wasn't until I brought it up to you when we were filming the music video.
Yeah.
That it actually was like, oh, let's actually do this. Let's make this happen.
Well, because you and I talk sports like almost all the time when we hang out. Like, obviously, your depth of knowledge of sports is like much greater than mine. But like when it comes down to like NFL, and then I guess, would you consider WWE sport?
Sports ancillary. It's extremely athletic.
Yes.
Like, I consider it a live stunt show.
Yes, correct.
So because it's not true competition, but the fact that they're doing high flying stunts, they're actually doing like perilous acts.
It's like doing like floor on gymnastics.
Yeah. And another friend of mine who's in WWE calls it his man opera, like soap opera.
Oh yeah, it's theater. Me and my sister call it drag. It's just drag.
Yeah.
It's like you have the entrances, the drama, the outfits. It's like the whole thing is just drag.
That explains the post I saw the other day. Somebody was on the ladder and you said "my queen" or something.
Wait, was it? Yeah, a couple days ago. Was it Dom Mysterio? Yeah.
Now I understand it fully. But yeah, we have talked about that too. But it's really fascinating because I think about musicians a lot, and the fact that like even playing guitar, like the dexterity, the skill that's there. I mean, there's endurance. There's so many things going into it. I've recently started getting back into doing vocal training and singing. There's so many things that are relatable to sport in creating music and in being a musician that gets a lot of times overlooked in the sense of like the skill base, the athleticism, being able to perform on stage. I mean, people do backflips. Yellow Card, the
Sean Mackin.
Yes.
Sean Mackin, and then also Benson Boone for Gen Z reference.
For sure. Yeah, I gotta hit them all. I was just listening to Yellow Card at my cousin's wedding, so that was really cool.
Did they play only one?
No.
Oh, Ocean Avenue.
Ocean Avenue. Yeah. It was just dancing. So, but yeah.
Nice.
No, and they hit the Blink 182 classics and some other stuff too.
Yeah.
But yeah. So, but usually not heard as much in weddings. So it was pretty nice.
Yeah. It's like, that era of music is unfortunately now like 80s nights when we were in like high school.
Yeah.
And that's just like where it's at. But I think the only thing that's like different is that there are still like a plethora of artists and musicians like in that weird genre like pop punk. Like you have like newer bands and doing stuff. There's like, I mean, in the 2000 like teens, I guess we can call them, like you had like Neck Deep, Knuckle Puck, Real Friends, and a bunch of other like up and coming like Touche Amore, a bunch of like those bands who like kind of like carry the legacy. And then metalcore is huge again, like with Bad Omens, who is like a band not from that era as well. And so there's just a lot of new exciting things. And I think it was maybe Ticketmaster or somebody just said that like metal music is like it's either up a bunch of percent or it's like the most attended genre of like music in the world right now.
It has gone up quite a bit, and I think a lot of that has to do with, I guess, a good amount of baby metal also pushed people more towards into the metal. And
baby metal made metal fun again.
Yes, that I can agree with that.
Who I also toured with because of Scene Queen. She was direct support for baby metal and everybody.
Oh, sick.
Yeah.
Okay. So interesting part talking about music and everything on that front. You just got back from tour. We already talked. You're tired.
Yeah.
Like,
yes. Yes, I am.
Like, I think people who don't see live music, there's plenty of people that listen to music, but a lot of people don't see live music, so they don't
I mean, it's really expensive now for one, but
true.
I digress.
But they don't see the actions of it and the craziness that's involved. Because, like, when we were kids, we had the boy bands, NSYNC, you know, that.
Boys.
Now we've got K-pop that's doing the dancing and singing and all of that. But that happens in every performance. Like, movement and everything involved, because you want to engage the audience and everything while you were singing, while you were performing. How does that feel like from going on to stage and then afterwards? How much do you feel drained?
So personally, I think it varies from person to person, because like the drummer who came with us on the Scene Queen run, Jordan, who's also my drummer for boyhero, he is just gassed and exhausted afterwards, like laying on the floor, cannot move. I have such an adrenaline high after it, and I'm not sure if it's the energy from the crowd or if it's like a workout like high, like, you know,
the endorphins,
like runner's high or whatever. But I'm stoked even after like an hour of performing. I think the most draining thing is sleeping on a bus.
Oh yeah.
Like, and it's a steady build throughout like a month or however long it is. Cause not only it's not just a performance, it's loading the gear in like out of the trailer on stage. And then after you play, you have to also pack everything back up, load it off stage and back into the trailer. And at the start of tour, always like fresh, ready to go, doing stuff. But then when you get to the end, it's like, the last show, normally I'm pretty quick at loading out afterwards. Like, I'll come back, I'll like drink a water, like we'll talk about like, you know, if there were tech issues or whatever issues, and then I'll go back out and load out. But on the last day of tour, I'm just like, I'm gonna sit here for a good 15-20 minutes and just not do it. Everyone's like, we should load out. It's like, yes, we should.
You can do that. Give me 15 minutes.
Yeah. It's like, we should do that, but I'm not going to.
So I kind of relate to that because we did the world tour for improv. Like, it just builds, right? Because it's physical exertion. There's a lot of energy put out. It's mental exertion. And then you get on the bus and you sleep as best you can. Yeah. Then you're off the bus, load in, show, load out.
Yeah. And like, just to like illustrate a picture of loading in, it's just like every case that has audio equipment in it is at least 55 pounds or more.
Yeah.
And then that doesn't even count like the super heavy stuff, like the drummer hardware case, which is like at least 150. I don't know. It takes two people to carry it. We had a prop bin that was, I want to say was at least like 120, but it was just like so big where it's just like you needed to be able to do it. And then we had a full box that carried like stage production, like just like stage pieces to like make it was basically like set pieces. Those were heavy, having to carry those and do stuff. And a lot of time we have hands, and then there's like merch boxes and things. And so it's like, and then you're also trying to do it fast because there's some shows where the worst one that we had on this tour, we went on at 9:50. We ended at 10:50. Venue curfew was 11 p.m.
Oh, wow.
So we had a full hour. We had an hour and 10 minutes to basically, you know, I didn't, but wind down off the stage, pack everything up, load it in, shower, get all of our stuff out of the green room. And then also the venue, was it that night? No. And then we also had bus call as well. It was at midnight, and bus call was at midnight. So yeah, an hour and 10 minutes still. And bus calls at midnight. There was no shower in the venue. So all of us had to do military showers in the bus, you know, where it's like water on, water off, water on, water off.
Yeah.
And there's 3 of us that needed to do it post loadout. And like, I finished everything with 2 minutes to spare.
Wow.
Before our driver, Michaela, was like, all right, everybody on, we're leaving right now. And I'm just like, holy shit. And so it's like, it's not necessarily like, I don't want to say that's the same like high level of like doing a sporting activity, but like, I don't know, like you said with the K-pop groups, like I look at what they do and the movements that they're doing while singing and stuff like that, and the incredible amount of like core strength and whatever stabilization that they have to do internally to be able to still project a consistent, pretty sound is incredibly impressive. And then in the genre of metal music, we have a lot of physicality in a completely different way. There's a lot of running around stage. There's jumping. There's headbanging. I do a 20-minute like warm up before I go out on stage because if you go to my Instagram, you'll see pictures of me performing and I'm jumping, you know, off of like platforms and other things, and like my neck and back are all messed up because of headbanging and doing spins and a bunch of other stuff. But it's kind of like I want to say it's almost similar to doing like a short Spartan race every night.
Okay.
Like if you like you get
it's a bunch of different movements, a bunch of different things.
Yeah, running around, dancing and stuff like that. I mean, I'm not doing like pull-ups and stuff, but it's
you could.
I could, yeah, climb the scaffoldings and
yeah, you could.
Yeah,
add it in your next show.
I actually look at every single venue and look at like certain like areas like that. It was like, okay, can I like go out on there? There's a venue in Philadelphia. I don't think the name is Eastside Bowl, but it's got a bowling alley. If you've been there, you know what I'm talking about. Mm-hmm. And there's like a railing that separates the bowling alley and like the stage area, and it's got like a small bar top for drinks. Mm-hmm. And every time I'm there, I look at it, I'm just like, I want to walk out on that. I'm talking like out onto the like into the crowd area.
Yeah.
And I can never find the correct song to do that. And then also our stage manager is always like, please don't do that. Because it's kind of our stage manager this tour, Lily, it's like her job when one of us like leaves the stage to like make sure that we get back to the stage without like falling. So if Scene Queen is crowd surfing, or if I'm doing something irresponsible on top of a high platform, she's like there stabilizing the platform or making sure that Scene Queen gets like passed off from the people without getting dropped on her head, which has already happened once before.
Yeah. I can imagine the high stress environment in that, because it's like you need to make sure your artist is protected and a bunch of other stuff.
And we're not helping because like we're on adrenaline high. Yeah. Like we're feeling really good. It's like, let's do some crazy stuff.
It's like Tom Cruise in all of his movies.
Yeah. It's like, you know what? This would be a good idea to strap myself to a plane as it takes off.
Yeah. This would be a good idea for me to do low to the ground paragliding down this giant cliff edge. I just want to do it. One change in wind direction, you're kind of screwed.
What was it? Was it the, not Final Reckoning, but the first one of the two-part where he does the motocross off the cliff? That was crazy.
Yeah.
Doesn't have anything to do with sports or music, but still insane.
Stunt show.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
I feel like you should integrate WWE into a show and just have like prop guitars to like smash over somebody's head. And
it's
have a
really
fight.
funny that you said that, because we did a bit last year in the UK where we made it seem like she has a song called Stuck.
Okay.
And we made it seem like the playback got stuck on a loop. So at the end of the song it goes stuck, duck, 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 duck the entire time. And me and the drummer would start like blaming each other, like, you broke it, no, you broke it, kind of thing. And it didn't go over well in the UK because the
energy is just different.
No, it's just like the sarcasm just didn't get read in Europe. Like specifically like in like Germany or like Italy, it just didn't compute with them. They thought something was actually going wrong, and then like we're selling it like right. But Jonathan, the drummer for that tour, he's like, we should like actually hit each other. And I'm just like, no.
All right, was there some animosity from him towards you? Like, was he just trying to let something out? That
he does like to push people's buttons and consistently would push my buttons on tour.
Sounds like my brother.
Well, one day he was just like, what was it? If I got handed the death note, I would never use it. And I was just like, I'm like, bullshit. He's just like, he's like, I would never do it. It's wrong. And I was like, this otherworldly entity is coming to you to give you this thing. You're going to sit there and not think that you're like preordained to have some sort of like say in how the world and fixing the world. Like, you're out of your mind.
Yeah.
Like, we all got a short list right now, I think. That it could be used on very easily.
We didn't talk about punch cards recently on the podcast and how if people should have an allotment of one punch per year, they could just punch somebody.
Wait, that's awesome.
Yeah.
I don't want that for myself, though.
No, but it's like you get one punch, and then we're like, no, but if it's Nazis, you get unlimited. So
yeah. It's just always at full. Like, it's like a redeem program.
You have two punch cards. One is Nazis with the infinity symbol. The other is your one per year on somebody who's just being an asshole.
Yes.
The only problem is then people hold on to it, and at the end of the year, New Year's is just like the purge of punching.
Well, don't they have Festivus or something like that? Like, isn't that like a thing?
The airing of grievances.
Yeah.
That's a part of Festivus.
I remember like 2 years ago where like I was laughing my ass off at my folks' house because I think Rand Paul was like just going off on Twitter. with like 2 weeks left of the year. And I'm sitting here going, and he was getting messy.
Oh,
like the girls were fighting. And by the girls, I mean, it was a one-way fight, and Rand Paul was girl, and there was no other girl. But yeah, the Festivus would be terrible. I've also have indulged the thought of The Purge, but I mean, who hasn't after watching those movies?
Yeah. I don't. There's too much like super bad stuff that would happen.
I think that the people who can make a positive change are at too much of a disadvantage to enact that change in that situation. Therefore, is a bad idea.
Yeah. I would 100% agree.
All the terrible people already have all the means to survive the purge, and so what's the point?
Yes, but bringing it back to music. We were talking about how you wouldn't necessarily compare putting on a performance to like and load in, load out, and all of that to like the same kind of mentality as sport.
Yeah.
And so going into that, I kind of want to know your perspective and from sport and how you feel like you can compare that. Because I know you played baseball growing up.
Yeah.
Did you do any other sports? Like, what did you do growing up?
So I started off like many people doing like little league stuff, playing a lot of like I think I did pretty much everything. I did baseball, basketball, football. I even did soccer, and this was all like pre to middle school. But then middle school I switched into just doing like football, basketball, baseball, and then high school. I'm sure people can figure out the trajectory of this. My last time doing like true team sports was sophomore year of high school. I was starting varsity center field.
Okay.
And then I went away to Ireland for 2 weeks because my grandfather died for his service and stuff like that during the season. And I came back and I didn't have my position anymore. So yeah, pretty shitty. And so then, but after that, I was already doing cross country. I think I did cross country throughout all of high school. And I also started doing track because growing up in a small town with a class of like 42 people, with the interests that I still have and did have then didn't quite meld well with the other people in a rural area. And so I ended up doing sports and activities where it was mostly like competing with yourself. And that's kind of been like a theme for my life is like, obviously, you know, the thief of joy is comparison.
Right. Yeah.
Having to be doing, you know, being one of very few musicians in a small town and then having to go out and like kind of pave my own path into the industry. And then, you know, moving out to LA, it taking 12 years to do this like full time. It's just been a very, I don't want to say lonely, but, you know, self-fulfilling journey, I guess maybe is like a better way of saying it.
Individually focused.
And so, but doing cross country and track, personally, I think helped the most, especially like with endurance. Like when I think about what I did in high school, where it was just like first day of cross country practice is like, cool, go just run 12 miles.
Yeah.
You're not supposed to do that. Like you're not supposed to start with 12 miles. Like you're supposed to like build or because like injuries. But like when you're a kid, your body is just like the regenerative powers of it is just like, it's insane. Like you can go do something like that and then wake up the next day and be fine.
Yeah. The recovery is so much better.
Yeah.
Your metabolism is up there. Your muscle elasticity is even better. So
yeah. And like injuries are not as likely, you know, unless there's some sort of like outside force or something like that, which tangent on injuries. I've only had 2 of them from playing sports in high school. One was on my left thumb. When I did baseball, I pretty much played like the entire middle of the field. I did catcher, pitcher, and then center field. And I started off as catcher, but then they moved me to center field because I was fast.
Yeah.
And then they're like, well, we can't have you behind the plate. That's just like a waste of time.
Yeah.
And then they put me...
It also then ruins your knees to be able to then run.
Yeah, exactly.
But not anymore because they have a new technique that we were all doing, but then they told us not to.
Oh, was it...
It's the kneel thing now. They're all doing the side kneel and leg out.
Yeah.
Whereas when we were kids, it was the squat.
You had to be on your toes too.
Yeah.
Because you got to be fast.
You got to be able to get up and launch the ball.
Yeah. Well, that's nice for everybody now.
Yeah. So catchers probably have much longer outlook on their careers nowadays than they did when we were kids.
And then also just taking collagen powder. But anyway. But I caught a ball from one of our really fast pitchers, just like on the outside with the mic, and it got this and had a clean break on that. And then hasn't been proven, but I'm pretty sure it's happened when it was actually middle school. I got tackled by our own, we were on defense, offense, I can't remember. But I got tackled by our own guy. Like I pushed the dude out of bounds and the dude came up to tackle me, and I now have like a divot on one of my ribs. And so like
you probably broke a rib.
Yeah, and just like never figured that out. But like, I mean, I was out. Like it was bad, but then I just, I don't know. But it
powered through it, toughed it out.
Yeah, and now one pec is droopier than the other. Thanks to that.
We're all not perfectly symmetrical.
Yeah, anyway, no, it is anyways to begin with, and no one else notices but you, so don't worry about it.
Unless you point it out, and then
and
you're
now
telling
everybody
them to look
knows.
at it.
Now everybody's gonna look at me.
Like looking at your back. Which one is it? No, yeah. Injuries are such an interesting thing because the thing is, if you don't do sports, you're still gonna get injured. Mm-hmm. Like, because if lifestyle changes, a bunch of things can happen. I mean, the most deadly things that we incur in life are like car accidents in this day and age. And there are plenty of stories of people who did sports that survived because they did sports. Yeah. I mean, I still attest to this day, me getting hit on my bike when I was going 30 miles per hour just last year. I could have broken my neck, but I wrestled. I have a crazy thick neck from wrestling, from college football and all of that stuff. And I just got knocked out for stress. 10 seconds. From stress, yeah. From headbanging. Yeah. Which, speaking of which, I got so sore from headbanging at my cousin's wedding. I was awesome. Oh, I'm old.
You didn't stretch beforehand?
No, I did not.
Or after?
None of the above. It was bad.
On that note about just like recovery and like injuries and stuff like that, I am a firm believer in working out, staying active, being a part just general physical longevity, both like physically and aesthetically.
Yeah.
No known secret when you're in the music industry or acting or anything forward facing, obviously youthfulness, I mean, we're getting a little away from that, but youthfulness is desired.
I mean, appearance in general is desired for front facing. I mean, there's studies. Mm-hmm. It's not necessarily cognitive bias, but it is a bias that if you are more attractive, you are more likely to get a position.
Yeah.
It's been proven multiple times through multiple studies that even if you have slightly less qualifications, if you are appealing, because it makes people feel more comfortable with you.
Yeah. Yeah. And so like, especially in the industries that like we're in, I constantly have people thinking that I'm like 10 years younger than I actually am, which is great. But then everyone asks me, it's like, how does this work? And it's like, well, I've literally been active my entire life. I've been weightlifting and training for just generally since I was 18. Yeah. And also it's just like, because it's just like, it's increased blood flow and just like everything.
It's good for your mental health. The endorphins that come from it. There's a million different things that come from it. And then there's also your own view of yourself. Mm-hmm. And self-improvement, like seeing yourself get into a better shape or seeing yourself in a way that you are like, oh, I'm more aesthetically pleasing.
Yeah, I put on 25 pounds of muscle in the last year.
It's noticeable. I will say that. Especially with what you're wearing today. I walked in, I was like, damn, Dan's arms look something else.
Well, we are in a sports podcast.
Yeah. So. Don't look at me. I haven't worked out in like a year. It's been too bad.
It's okay.
I've done walks, though.
I love a walk. I think specifically when you will continue to be like more active and like you said with like when things happen or are hard on your body, having that like already pre-built like foundation helps with that. And I think that I'm able to go as hard as I do and do the things that I do on stage because of the work that I'm putting in outside of like whatever physical activity that might be. This year I've switched to training as a hybrid athlete for two reasons. One is because I got really into like fun runs and Spartan races, and trying to do a 10K one right now, which is like will be the longest like official race I've done. I run 10Ks like about once a week right now, but I'm trying to get to like 8-10 miles comfortably so that 10K feels great. And then also because I'm training for my WWE debut one day.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So I've added overhead presses to my weightlifting routine.
Smart. So when you have to throw the person.
Throw somebody. Yeah. Which is honestly like it's a little embarrassing how like little I can do over my head versus like an actual bench press.
It's the craziest thing. So because I have my torn rotator cuff right now, doing like shoulder press and things like that, I feel like I'm the weakest person in the world. I'm doing like 15 pounds and I'm like, oh my God, this is so bad.
I thought you were going to say more than what I was doing right now. And I was just going to be like,
no, I'm so weak like this way. And I've always had like larger looking shoulders. And then I'm doing like, oh my God, this is killing me.
Yeah, well, you have an injury, so don't feel bad. There was one time we were in the UK. We did 2 nights in the UK for seeing Queen. Sold out, which was great. But there was someone from a publication there. I won't name it just to be nice. But I was doing like warm-ups, like leg swings, stretches, push-ups, like squats, like lunges and things just to get my body warmed up for what I was doing. And she turns to me and goes, "Why are you doing all that? You're just playing guitar."
Oh my God.
And the drummer Jonathan got he fielded that, and he's like stretching with the sticks and stuff. He's just like, "Oh, you'll see." Like you'll see why.
That's also like, I think a lot of people don't realize that, and that's why it's a big part of like why I wanted to do this episode is there's so much more that goes into it than people realize.
Yeah, I'm doing lunges and like squats and jumps, and like I wish we had like a video that we could like go through and just show like, oh yeah, he's doing this. But like just jumping alone, it was a summer school tour. John from the home team asked me like how I can jump so high, just like with locked knees, just like calves only. I mean, not locked knees, but just like pencil jump kind of a thing. And I'm like, what do you mean I'm not that high up? And then I saw a picture and I was like, holy shit. like why am I that high up? Just doing that. But like there was like kind of like a sports injury thing that happened on this tour. We were in Salt Lake City at Elevation, and I just finished being in Los Angeles for 2 days, one for Warped Tour Long Beach. And then the day before I was at My Chemical Romance at the Dodger Stadium with Witchy, my partner, and my sister Emily. So between that and then walking around Warped Tour all day, because it was all day, like between playing and then like seeing bands and stuff like that, it was all day. Had a day off, go to Salt Lake. At Elevation, I obviously didn't like drink enough water or something. I did lack of physical activity. I also didn't take care of myself like very well physically on this tour. Like I was just not hitting the gym or running as much as I usually do or should. But we were in Salt Lake, and I don't know what muscle it is, but the one that's like by your shin, like in between your calf. Like halfway through the set, terrible cramps. Like it felt like I broke my legs. Like that's how tight everything was, and I still had to play 4 more songs and do a show. You can't just like not move around, especially with this project, because there's only 3 of us on stage. It's the drummer, me, and then Seeing Queen. And the drummer can't move. Also, Seeing Queen can't be moving around that much because she has to like mitigate, like air to be able to continue to do vocals and stuff like that. And so then I'm probably running around the most, I would say.
Yeah, you're filling and working.
Yeah, I'm filling in the gaps, and I don't mean to sound like a big baby, but it's seriously, I'm sitting there like I have hairline fractures in my shins. Like that's literally what it felt like. And then I make it through the show. We go down. I'm like, I have to sit and like work this out. And I have somebody like, I was like, can you press into my, I had our stage manager like, it was like, can you press into like, cause it's like lactic acid buildup, something, whatever. She puts one thumb in, not even that hard, immediately go, oh, nope, nope, don't want that. She was like, that probably means you need it. I was like, nope, I don't want it. I don't want it.
Those were very common during 2 days in football when it got really, really hot out and a lot of us were really dehydrated. If that happens again, Dixie cups, freeze it, massage with the ice out of the Dixie cup until the ice melts away.
Ah, that's a cool tip. I don't know if we have access to freezers on
Somebody has ice somewhere.
Someone's got ice somewhere, yeah. I didn't think about like icing it. I just stretched for like 15 minutes until I was able to like walk, and then still even in Denver, it was like pretty bad. But then once we got to like not at Elevation, it subsided drastically.
Yeah. So it probably had to do with dehydration and elevation.
Yeah. Which now makes me think about, like everybody who's like an athlete from, granted they've got, full teams of like, physical therapists and things that will be like, all right, cool, drink your mandatory 14 bottles of water, like before you.
Here's your oxygen tanks on the sideline.
Yeah. And then obviously like super big musicians like, BTS or Blackpink or like, anybody who's doing Sam's Arenas, like they have a team of people. They have masseuses, acupuncturists, chiropractors, you name it. It's like they're there because like, especially like, I'm sure like My Chemical Romance does, like they did Dodger Stadium 2 nights in a row. The show was like 2 hours long.
Yeah.
And I'm not like Gerard Way is fucking amazing, but he's also 48 years old now. Looks great, but it's just like, it's like, dude, like not only it's his body, it's also like his voice, and then like for everybody else. And so that you got to have like basically a PT team.
Yeah.
So when you do get to higher levels of doing this, that does become a necessity. And we've even brought out PT people, like friends of friends kind of a thing or something like that, where it's like there's a thing called like guitarist shoulder because of the strap.
The strap and the weight. The motion, yeah.
And so it's just like, so you have like a weird, like a vertebrae slip or what, I don't know what it is, but like it's like apparently a thing. They would come out and like adjust that, your neck and like hips and stuff like that from sleeping on a bus that's doing this all night long.
Well, and then the weight distribution of the different things you're doing on stage, because you also are going to stand different based on having a guitar or being a drummer. You're sitting, and
the drumming one I can't imagine, but like I do know that like everybody has like a certain technique that they do. Like I see variations of posture, and I think it just like goes into like what type of play style, how hard you're hitting, and also just like where your seat's at, the height difference, like. There's a lot of different things. And even like with the guitar, like I used to play with my guitar pretty low. And then because of my, I think it's because of my thumb break.
Yeah.
I used to get a lot of pain in this general region, like just like, not like sharp pain, but like kind of like a stiffness, like just would move slow and would feel like, I don't know how to describe it. And then as soon as
it's like sluggish and just
like it's not doing, and it affects my left hand a little bit. Like I went to the doctor and they just gave me some like stuff for essentially like arthritis. Like they gave me like a very specific anti-inflammatory, and then like some sort of cream, which I haven't used at all because I was like, I'm gonna try and figure this out without doing that, because I took the anti-inflammatory once and it made me feel funny. I don't like mentally funny. And I was just like, this shouldn't do that, I don't think.
Let's talk later about potentially what drug that was.
Oh, okay.
Because my parents were pharmacists, so I know.
Oh, okay. But then I just shifted to having my guitar, moved it up because, I used to do like the emo thing where it's real low and it's like, arms fully extended. And then I moved it up to like, more appropriate place to play. And then like back got better, shoulder got better, wrist got better. And so there's certain things where it's just like, there is a correct technique to doing things for like longevity. Like look at Tom DeLonge is the best example right now. Like when he did like Enema of the State and all of like the early records and like self-titled, his guitar was like touching his knees basically.
Yeah.
And now look where his guitar is at. It's like,
it's up here.
It's like, because he was giving himself back issues from like
having to
reach all the way down and stuff like that. And it's also just easier to play on the fretboard when it's higher up. But I don't know how that necessarily pertains to sports. Maybe just proper technique.
It pertains. It's athleticism, it's knowledge of the body, it's a lot of different things. So
I do think that the biggest aspect of what I do in staying physically, it's mostly like preparatory work, like to be able to do this consistently with longevity. Because like there are people my age who are doing it who are like starting to complain about it, like this is too hard, I'm like too old for this now, blah 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 blah, like I gotta figure something out. But also at the same time, I don't necessarily see them like taking care of themselves. Like I'm running every day or I'm lifting every day, I have my macros app and stuff like that. I'm paying attention to what I'm eating, my nutrition, making sure that I'm getting what I need. I'm not drinking barely at all now. Like in the last 2 months, I think I drank 3 nights and for a grand total of 10 drinks, which is like in 2 months, which is comparatively to what people in my industry do, which is like almost every night.
Yeah.
And then there's also the whole aspect of staying healthy as far as like, with your immune system and stuff like that. So it's like you don't want to be drinking, got to be getting sleep, drinking water, taking your supplements and stuff like this. Like anybody that I work with, when they get ill, or even like myself or something, like everyone's first reaction is to take some sort of Dayquil, NyQuil, or whatever to alleviate the symptoms, which that does work, but that also is putting stress on your system more than like even more so than it already is in the environment that we're at. It's like you're living in a confined space, you're not getting a lot of sleep.
It's also when you're treating symptoms, a lot of times you're treating your immune system response. You're not helping your immune system fight it. You're making your immune system be suppressed so you're not feeling as bad.
Yeah. And so everybody wants to like take some sort of medicine to just feel better in general while they're awake. And my whole thing is like, no, take your supplements and like whatever, anything throughout the day, an hour before you go on, then take your Dayquil or whatever it is that's going to alleviate the symptoms so that you can
get through
perform.
The show. Yeah.
And then also take something before you go to bed so you can fall asleep and get that rest. So like a NyQuil or like whatever. But a lot of what I do, and I think for the longevity of it, is just preparatory work, like endurance from running, also endurance from weightlifting. That goes into like loading gear and being able to do stuff because like sometimes things go wrong.
Making sure you lift properly when you're doing that stuff too, like with your legs instead of your back.
Knowing how to lift. And then also just like there accidents happen where like things fall over and they're heavy, or like someone is dropped something that you're carrying with them that's heavy. It's like you have to be able to react in a manner that is like, one, going to keep you and the other person safe, but two, also like not going to injure yourself. Like you got to, and then sometimes you trip over something, or there's so many things that happen. And like even with like earlier on this tour, I was just like going across the stage, coming out of a spin or something like that. There was a cable and I just stepped on it in a certain way where my ankle started to like roll, and I'm pretty good at avoiding any type of like ankle injuries because I put my other foot down pretty much like right away, or like not tripping. Like it's like you just establish, like it's like you got to switch to the other foot. It's
also like knowing how to fall.
Yeah. And so it's like, and then also just like having, running and lifting, specifically free weights as opposed to like machines. So like me doing,
because you activate the support muscles.
Exactly. So like, it's like that protects like my ankles and my joints and things because I have been working those stabilizing muscles and things. I would say that like a lot of accidents like can happen with like loading in and loading out because like you're always working with somebody different, especially like if they're stagehands, you may not be like, you're not necessarily on the same page, or maybe somebody's, tired, something happened in their life, so they're not super focused, and like, they make a move with a heavy piece of gear that like jeopardizes you also carrying it, kind of a thing. Yeah, like things get dropped on people's feet all the time.
Having the athletic preparedness to be able to react in certain situations, it 100% makes sense in every aspect of what you're doing. There's so many obstacles, there's so many things. You're doing so many different things as far as like lifting, turning, jumping, dancing, head banging, dealing with weights that you're moving with while you're doing all of this. Everything is entailed. I mean, singing requires core strength. You're moving your arms to play guitar, your finger dexterity. Drummers are moving their whole body throughout. I mean, and every motion exists, and you're trying to do all of it to show a performance, and while also protecting yourself, while also making it engaging and entertaining.
Yeah,
it all is encompassing in that, and then there's the stuff behind the scenes on top of it. So, but I actually want to move back to focus on you.
Oh, okay.
And boyhero in and of itself.
Yeah.
I've always been curious about this. I don't think I've ever asked you how the name came about.
Oh my God. So
yeah,
it's not as exciting as people would think it is, but it is more interesting than expected. So this is back when it wasn't a solo project. It was actually a band. It was me, Jason Walsh, Ben Illies, Benson, Topher, and then Alex. And we had just finished a whole EP. Filmed a music video. We're getting ready to launch. Had this name and iconography for marketing and everything. We were going to use the Japanese kanji for king or emperor or lord or whatever, and we were going to be called Kings. And it was a very symmetrical, great looking kanji. I was like, oh, this is going to be phenomenal. Like we can make this work. About a month, maybe 2 months before release, post we have all this done. there's another band called Reflections out of Minneapolis, and we're all half of the band was from Minneapolis, and they come out with a new record, and they're using that exact kanji for their new release and album cycle, and we're just like, I don't think anyone stole it from us. Like, I don't think anybody really talked, but the fact that it was another band from Minneapolis, was like
a little sketchy.
A little sketchy, but it was like, whatever. Like, we never, like, even if we did want to do something about it, there's nothing we could do about it because, like, it had already happened. So I was just getting coffee with Ben one day out in Silver Lake, and we're just talking about this issue. And, like, it's like, how, like, what are the odds? How could we do this? Like, what are we going to do? He goes, like, well, we could try and come up with a new band name and do that. But everything felt bad because it's like we had just put so much work surrounding this,
committed into it.
Yeah, and like we had built the the logo and everything around it. And then he had another band with who was an out friend of mine, Mike, in Minneapolis, and they had only done like 2 or 3 demos. Nothing really came out and never released, just songs sitting on a hard drive for forever, currently, under the name boyhero. And very nonchalant, I'm just like, yeah, it's good. Let's just go with that. And that's how it. And so I didn't even come up with it. I feel bad about it, and like we make jokes about it now because like they're all like they're working like non-music jobs now, and they're not really doing anything with that, and they always call me Boy Hero like 2.0. And it's very well, usually
that means it's better than the original version.
Yeah, it's an updated version. Yeah. We fixed a few things with this patch. It literally just came from a place of just like, well, shit, like we're kind of cooked. And then it was just like, it was the quickest fix to get things out the door because it's like we had to go.
Yeah.
So I wish there was a better story about how like it was like, oh, it's this really cool blah 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 blah, and it was just like, nope, that'll do.
The funny thing is, I almost think that's better because it's like some of the best things that perform, especially in today's day and age, are the stuff that required the least thought. My best TikTok, dumbest thing I've ever done.
Yeah.
I put snow on a piece of toast and I bit into it, and I was barefoot walking out into the snow, and I said, fresh powder. Because I was being like a snow skier who was like, oh yeah, it just snowed. Hell
fresh
yeah.
powder. Yeah.
And it blew up.
Yeah.
And it's just crazy how that works.
I had a similar TikTok about anime stuff it's my most viewed one. I was just like, I hate this.
Yeah, it's so frustrating. I put so much work into a different one where I did a full workout in a turkey costume, being like, I'll defeat you next year, ham, like for Thanksgiving. And it bombed. It didn't do anything.
And that's hilarious.
I know. And it's so funny. And it has no views, didn't get any love. And I'm like, come on, guys. I waited until 2:00 in the morning to record this, so I knew I'd be the only one in my gym. Like, like Thanksgiving night, 2:00 in the morning, film this, post it the next day because then it's the day after Thanksgiving. So I stayed up all night to edit this thing. So frustrating. But I'm so proud of that video though. I laugh every time I watch it, and then I sometimes judge it because I'm like, oh, that turkey costume's a little too small.
Nah, it's the right size. It's the right size for the bit. But I do think that the name Boy Hero did become very like serendipitous in its use because there was never an intention for me to be a solo artist. Since I was a kid, I always wanted to be in a band. I wanted to be part of a band because that's like what I grew up. I loved watching videos on YouTube of like behind the scenes in the studios and just watching bands like MCR, The Used, Pierce the Veil, Chihudos, like all of them just like creating as a group, however manufactured those videos are or weren't at the time. But like that's what inspired me when I was a kid. From first to last, like watching their videos and how they became and listening to how they became a band. There's like super inspiring. And like I always wanted that like kinship, I guess, with a group. And unfortunately, like trying to put together a band at a time where bands weren't like really cool anymore. This was like 2016, 2017. Like people weren't really like doing bands. They wanted like solo artists, or like if they wanted a band, they wanted it to be Arctic Monkeys like type stuff, or 1975. Like those were like the things that everybody was like.
It was like the time everyone that was a lead singer in a band was going off and becoming their own artists and separating from the band.
And with the exception of like a few people in that project. And like everybody was great. But like there's just people who just, they got different priorities. They had different ideas how they wanted this to work. And the whole reason I started boyhero was I was never a front person of a group. I was always the guitarist and singer of a metalcore band. And then I did like right after high school, I ended up starting a band called This Is Breathing with one of my best friends, Phil. And then my sister Emily was also in it. She was the front person for the band for about maybe a year to 9 months or something like that. And then there was a bunch of other great people in the band: Charlie, Alex, Sten, Lewis Hamill, like a bunch of really great people that I still love and are still very dear to me. But they're doing adult things now.
Yeah.
I don't consider what I do adult things.
I don't think what I do is adult things. Like,
and I agree. But Emily wanted to go to college to do acting, and like that's where her true passion lied. And like I did theater in high school too, and so like we were kind of did both the same activities growing up, and then we split into the different directions of like what we were kind of like doing together to an extent. And so she was the front person. She ended up leaving, and then they're like, "Oh, what the hell are we gonna do?" I was like, "Oh, well, I'll just do it." And this is where at the time I was like, "Oh, this was my what I like to call like my Ryan Key, Alex Gaskarth arc, where I was trying to be like yellow card, all time low, like singer, playing guitar, doing that whole thing." And then that was kind of like the first like a light went off in my head where it's just like, oh, if I'm the lead singer and I'm the person who wants to do this the most, it's never not gonna happen.
Yeah.
And so then when I started up boyhero, I started writing the demos for what would eventually become boyhero for the first EP. I did it all by myself, put the band together. Band fell apart for different reasons. And then I kept trying to put it together. Like I worked with Eric, one of my best friends, for a long time on even releases up until last year. He's had a hand in everything. I did a few EPs, which are basically solo EPs. I was just like trying to keep this like facade of a band together when it was really just me doing everything. And then I did the Recall EP. At the time, I was going to be working with a label called Give Heart Records. I don't know if you're familiar with it. Are you familiar with Nate Wants a Battle?
Yes.
Yeah, so his record label.
Okay.
I had done some covers and stuff like that, and then they brought me in, and then they helped release that EP. But at the time, it was going to be like, it was just me and Eric really writing all the music, and we did write all the music together.
Yeah.
And instead of like trying to like force a band, just like, oh, we got to find a drummer, and we found a drummer that ended up not working out. David, who's an amazing person, and he works in like artist management and stuff now. I just like kept trying, for 2 EPs to put this thing together, and then finally, my producer Zach, who is the guitarist for a band called Good Terms and a phenomenal producer and creative and engineer and just everything. He just one day goes to me, he's like, why don't you just be a solo artist? Like boyhero
is kind of,
it's just one guy.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
It's just one guy. And so I kind of pitched it to like Eric, and Eric was like not necessarily like wanting to like tour anymore. He's married now. He has one kid, another kid on the way, and like very happy doing living in Minnesota. But I just like, he was kind of like already like on the way out kind of a thing. I was like, hey, like what happens if I just am boyhero, and then if like obviously I worked with you on this stuff, and if I work with you on stuff, it's like you still get all of like the publishing credits and stuff like this and like things like that, but then you don't have to incur any of the financial cost of producing the music. Mm-hmm. It's just like it's strictly creative, so it's like you're gonna help write, and then you get points on the song. And it's like, so you still get to do the music stuff, and there's still like a day where it's like if I could pay somebody to be on salary for like $80,000 to $100,000 like to tour, be on on a retainer, I would do that and get him. But like that's like what it would take to people need to be making a living wage to do something like that.
Yeah.
That was just kind of like where it split. And then we went into shooting the music videos for the Recall EP as if it like was like still a band, because like you can't really have those performances without like the guitars and the drums and stuff like
all
that.
The different parts. Yeah.
I brought in Steve, who's my roommate, who's also a talented musician who had been around and a part of like the Rocktober EP and the Recall stuff. And then my friend Dan Carlson, who's in a really cool band called Creek right now, based out of Denver. He came in and ran playback and did the music videos, played drums on them. And then Eric played guitar because he, co-wrote everything with me and Zach. At the time, I didn't realize how special like that time. And we did it like over COVID too, because it was just like we did it safety, like where it's like, all right, cool, we're all driving to this like.
You were like independently isolated in your own way.
And then we came when we were more independently isolated with like in this house. Like we just like rented an Airbnb for a long weekend, and we shot everything in there and on the property in like rural Minnesota down by La Crosse, Wisconsin. And it's kind of like a time capsule in my head now because while everything was like, there were so many shitty things about COVID, and I'm like, I've dealt with real shitty things during COVID.
Same.
Yeah, I mean, not to. I'm not. No. Mine was worse.
No, wait.
No. I've got you beat.
No. I saw 5 people. 5 people. How many did you see? Oh,
I was stuck in rural Wisconsin.
I was stuck in my apartment in LA.
Well, at least you could get good coffee.
You're right. I could DoorDash.
It's like a cool little like bubble memory of like an amazing time happening in a bad time. So when I think about the bad times, I don't necessarily have to think about the bad times. I can think. And then Witchy, my partner, we were together at the time. Like she was there, and we did like she did makeup and stuff and things and everything for it. And it was just like we built all the set pieces and props ourselves, all the costuming. We did like a craft. If you go and watch the videos for specifically for fine dining, we bought a used guitar amp and bass amp. And we bought fabric from Joann's, and we like reupholstered these things, and they fit in with the house where it's like, I feel like people don't notice them because they're so good.
Like they just match.
They look like they belong in the house. And it's like, it's one of the coolest things that we did that in my parents' living room. It was me, Ryan, Bethany, and Witchy. And we just like, we did that. We made, if you look in the background of the Start to Fade music video, there's all these tombstones and stuff around. It goes with the story of the 3 videos. But what was very funny, and I thought was a little cheeky, is that on each gravestone, we put the initials of everybody who had been in Boyhero at one point.
Oh,
yeah. So
Easter egg.
Yeah, it's not like a diss. Like I'm not trying to be like it's like they're
like
dead to me.
Yeah.
It's like an acknowledgement, you know, kind of a thing. So that was cool. And then we had a drummer named Brennan, but that was a really cool like time, and I don't think I've actually ever really like spoken about it really, because like it was COVID, like overwhelmed, don't really get to sit and reflect on anything.
No, not at all. It sounds also like a lot of the reason you got into music was from growing up, like being in theater and stuff like that, and where it comes from. Do you really feel like that was the case? Like, what inspired you to get into music to begin with?
First thing, there's 2 instances that really drove it home for me. One of them being, I remember, like, I'd always been like into music. Like when I was 5 or something like that, can't remember what CD. It was either Hanson or NSYNC, but I put on a concert for the entire neighborhood in my garage where I had the CD in a boombox and I was singing it, and I got my sister and one of the other neighborhood kids to be my backup dancers for it. I think my grandparents and parents and maybe like a couple other people came, but like that was like the first time that I put on a performance, I guess.
Well, and then I was just in the music video filming, so I was like the other backup dancer now. In today's day and age of backup dancing.
The extras. Yeah. And so that was the first one. But the thing that made me like go like, I want to do this was, I remember because we moved out to Wisconsin and there was no like normal TV antenna service. So you had to get satellite for you to be able to watch anything.
Gotcha.
And so I finally had access to MTV, which was really cool.
Yeah.
And I remember seeing a Target advertisement for My Chemical Romance, their second record, 3 Cheers for Sweet Revenge. And they were pushing I'm Not Okay very hard. And I remember seeing that on the TV, and I go to my dad and I'm like, I want that CD. I knew nothing about it. All I knew is like, it was like comic book art. The video was cool. The song was cool. I was like, I want this when it comes out. And so the day that it came out, he picked it up on his way home from work for me. And he hands it to me. And he's like, "Oh, do you want to put it on the stereo downstairs?" I go, "Nope." And I ran upstairs. I put it in my boombox, closed the door, and I listened to it. And that's like the day that like I fell in love with my chem. And I guess, you know, kind of like with theatrics and camp and things like that inside of music. And then watching the music videos, I wanted to play guitar just like Frank Iero, which most people wanted to play like Ray because he like did all the guitar solos. But I thought Frank looked the coolest, so I wanted to be like him. And then I think around the same time, do you remember Zumi's Couch Tour? It was like right around the era of like Viva La Bam and Jackass.
Oh, okay.
And it was like Zoomies would do a tour where there was like artists and skateboard demos and stuff like that. And they go from city to city. It was like Warped Tour light.
Mm-hmm.
One year, I think it was the second year, because the first year was at the Mall of America. If you watch the Viva La Bam episode, they do it at the Mall of America. I was at that one. And they do a skate demo on a mini ramp in the rotunda. And then the next year they did it outside the Metrodome in the parking lot. And it was like 98 degrees out, humidity, black top, so hot. And I was like waiting by myself for some reason. I think like my mom was with us and my friend Ryan. Like they went to go get food or something, or like maybe he needed to use the restroom, so she like walked with him and she told me to stay there. And then there's this band dressed in, mind you how hot it is, there's this band dressed in all black, hoods up, tight ass jeans, eye makeup and shit. Some of them wearing these big gaudy like, you know, black sunglasses. And there's just this dude swinging this microphone that's taped up in like a 30-foot radius just above his head and just screaming. And between those two moments, specifically that one, I was like, that's what I want to do. And so, and at the time I wanted to be a pro skater. Like who didn't when they were like 12, 13?
Not me. I was still in football and all that other stuff. So.
I was trying to be a pro skater. I was trying to get good, and then I saw that. I was like, nope, life trajectory change. Yeah, and I was pretty committed to that my entire life, and like started playing guitar. I started writing songs before I could like really do anything else on guitar. I just like once I learned how power chords work, I just went and started writing shit, and then did like a band that was like half covers, half originals, then started a metalcore band in like my last 2 years of high school, switched into like a more heavier metalcore band, then did that pop rock band, and then yeah, it's just been, and senior of high school, I almost flunked out because I knew that all I needed to do was just graduate. I didn't need to graduate good. I just needed to get that piece of paper and then I could do whatever I want. But one of my favorite stories to tell about my dad is that my mom was pissed when she saw I was getting like a C- average at the halfway point of the year. And she was like, and she was right about all this. Like, this is unacceptable. You're smarter than this. You're more capable than this. Why are you doing this? I was like, because I don't want to go to college. Like, I just want to do music and stuff. So I'm just like, and I don't need to do that. And at the time, I had no idea about like Berkeley. The only thing I knew was like Juilliard. And I was like, well, I'm never going to get into that. You have to be a prodigy. Hell no. And have money. Yeah. So that wasn't going to happen. And so I had just been like, whatever, I'm just going to do it. And I'm just going to, figure out how to do music. And then my dad pulls me aside after I get basically yelled at. It was yelled at, not basically, it was reprimanded. And he goes, listen, if you get your grades up to an A average by the end of the year, I'll buy you whatever guitar you want. I don't think there's ever been a faster turnaround. Ever. Yeah. And then so I got my grades up, and even before I graduated, like when he knew like I was good, he got me I still have it, the Les Paul double cut, and I've been using it ever since. It's a very sentimental piece of instrument, so I don't think I'll ever be bringing that back out on tour again. Yeah, I used to bring it to every show that I played and like let my guitar players use it and stuff like that. But I think that's only going to be used for studio stuff now. But I have other guitars, so it's fine.
I could also see like, I mean, I know the music video we worked on had a lot to do with your dad, and I imagine there's probably some use of it for when you're writing or wanting inspiration.
I use it to demo every song now, even the ones that we did for this new batch of songs. Don't really know what's going to happen with them yet, and then obviously like when recording, I'm not a complete sentimental fool, so I understand that we have to use like the instrument that serves the song most in the recording, but I always make sure to include that guitar has even if it's just like one section of something, it just gets used on everything to some extent, even if it's like a background piece. That guitar it's amazing. It's held up. It's gotten better like throughout time. I probably need to change the bridge on it because like just the type of that it's built, they start to bow after a while just from years of tension on the strings. But Gibson Les Paul has been my favorite guitar ever since My Chemical Romance, to bring it full circle.
There was one thing, because I brought the music video back up again. Something we talked about when you're on there was how fake screaming was harder than actually screaming.
Yeah.
And also, people don't realize when people are filming music videos how intense it is having to go through the song over and over again because there's so many takes. But then because you're a vocalist, you don't want to destroy your voice because you have to do it over and over and over again.
Yeah.
And so a lot of times you have to substitute for fake screaming. And it's still funny to me because I totally get it how fake screaming could be harder than actually screaming the note.
It's because like when I do the like recording or live, like I use proper technique for specifically like the screaming and singing, but for the screams, or as like people like to say, unclean vocals, harsh vocals.
Harsh vocals.
For those of you who are in the metalcore scene and like will appreciate that joke. But then when you have to do it, like normally I would have just done like full voice, like full out everything. But because of the way that we were doing it, especially because it was a oneer, we couldn't like move the PA to like the locations where it would be like heard loud enough where I could do it on top of it. Like we had to keep it in a room and in a place where it wasn't like visible.
Yeah.
And so I wasn't able to specifically with the screaming and the loud singing, like the higher notes and stuff. I couldn't do it, but then you also need to make it look like you're doing it.
Yeah.
Like you can tell when someone's not actually singing because like if they're singing or specifically like you can see like strain in their neck and then like, you know, veins and stuff like that. And like there's a lot of tells when someone is and isn't. But it's like when you're doing a music video, you also want to show those tells. So it's like you have to do something to make it look believable. Also, if you're not doing any like actual voice work, your mouth shapes change.
Yeah.
And that also looks weird. So doing like a soft whisper scream, because whispering is arguably like the worst thing for your voice ever.
Yeah.
And so when you're doing a whisper scream and then you're doing it for how many takes we do? Like 10?
Probably more than that because you also did it for some of the walkthroughs when we weren't even in places.
Yeah. Yeah. But no, like how many takes of the oneer did we do? Like 10 takes?
Probably around 10.
10, somewhere between 10 and 15.
Yeah.
But it's just like, it's really weird because like you're doing it, and it's like, it's bad for your voice. Like it's just strictly bad. But like, you know, one day you'll be like, whatever. It's not going to like do any long-standing damage. But then also just like tensing your neck and like doing things. And then also just like hitting the beats, being on time. Like, cause you had to also, you also had to hit the beats and be on time.
Yeah, but I was just walking around. I didn't have to do much else.
You had to walk around and
That's true. The hard part for me was trying not to blink.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I had the privilege of blinking. And then also like, it's just hot. And then, I mean, but I think we can both agree that like Haley, the camera operator, did the most work that day.
Yeah.
She said that she never weighed it because she doesn't want to know how heavy it is. She just wants to forget about it. But I want to say it was a minimum 55 pounds.
Oh, for sure.
Minimum. I want to say it was closer to like 70, maybe, the whole rig. But I don't know how much of that you count with the body rig and stuff like that.
Well, yeah, it's the benefit of that, and the reason it's designed the way it is it pushes it to your hips. Like if you go long distance backpacking or trekking and stuff like that, that's why they have the waist
strap around the waist.
Because then it's not pulling on your shoulders. You're not messing with your back. It's literally being pushed straight down into your legs.
And then we ended up doing a second video for, I mean, I can tell people the name of the songs. They're not going to change.
Yeah.
First one is Singing in the Dark. And then the next one is Gone. Don't know which order they're coming out in. But we shot 2 that day. But that was like it's a long day. And I think the hardest part is like, it's like the mental focus, the mental acuity of like being able to perform, because it's especially given like the subject matter specifically of like singing in the dark, being able to keep pulling from that place to emote.
Yeah.
And then can't have the doors and windows open because we had the hazer that we needed the fog and stuff for. And then I was most worried about the shots that we did at the end of the shoot, like at Gone. Cause like, not that everybody else wasn't working hard, but like keeping a deadpan face is like, you know, you just relax. And then, but like to make sure that I'm emoting correctly physically and with my facial features at appropriate times to get the appropriate emotional build for what the music is doing at the end of the day after we had already done we've been there since like, at least I had been there since 11, and it was like 8 o'clock, I think, when we were doing that, something like that. And not to mention all of the work leading up to it. Like, I probably didn't do as much prep work as like Ryan, Justin, or anybody else did, but like I'm a DIY artist right now. I don't have a label. I just have a manager. And so anything that my manager doesn't take care of, I take care of. And so like a lot of shit will fall through the cracks sometimes. Like, I haven't posted on social media in over a week now, which is bad, you know.
You've done Instagram stories.
Yeah. And
that's something.
Yeah, sure.
Listen, same boat.
It gets hard. And I've gotten over the whole posting on social media thing. There's a lot of artists who, and I'm sure you experience the same thing in the space you're in as well, where it's just like people are just like, oh, I don't want to do content. I don't want to do stupid, blah, 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 blah. It's like, cool. Do you want your job?
Yeah.
Like it's like, it's part of the game now. It's like, gone are the days of me just being a musician. I am now a singer-songwriter. I also have to do some amount of engineering and mixing. I'm also a video editor. I am a social media manager. Like,
you're a content creator in every aspect and sense of the word.
Yeah. And it's just, that's just how it is. And so whenever I hear somebody complain about it, I actually had a friend a year ago, he was complaining about it, and he's super talented. His band's super, super good. And I was like, do you want it? And he was like, well, yeah. And I was like, cool, then do the work.
Yeah. It's like every job. There's going to be parts that you hate.
Yeah. Like, it's like, you got to do the work. And the work sometimes is social media and like, you know, business centric and stuff like that. And sometimes it's physical centric. Like, I had like seven months off this year. Not by choice.
Yeah.
But I had a show that I was doing in a Chain Reaction, and I was out of shape for singing, at least. And I had to get back into like running, working my core, for the longevity, because it's like you have to move around and entertain while also like executing and running the set, like singing. Like, I would run it maybe 2 times, so that's like an hour and a half of rehearsal on top of my physical like regiment as well. It's just like, you just have to wake up and put in the work if you want it, and it's okay to like burn out. Like, let it happen. Like, it's gonna happen. And like, I'm kind of there right now. I just finished a tour while also trying to maintain social media while also finishing songs, because we did the music video right before.
Yeah.
I like literally.
No, you literally left like 4 days
I went into rehearsal like the next day, the day after.
Did you do the next day?
Yeah, I went in rehearsals for Scene Queen right after.
That was the Dodger game was the next day.
There was one day in between. There was one day in between. Yeah.
Yeah, because I remember, because I messaged you about doing something, and then it was like, because Anime Expo was coming up, so Witchy was busy.
Yeah.
So was Emily.
Yeah.
And then you also were like, oh, I got to jump right into this. And I was like, that's totally fine. The fact that I got to see you guys 2 days in a row was unheard of to begin with. But
it was just like, it's literally like I've been on tour. Like, even though that tour was only like 3.5 weeks, it feels like it was like a 5-week thing, because we went straight from rehearsals to getting on a plane, where I almost fought a man.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, was that the
Boston thing?
Yeah.
Yeah. I almost fought a dude on a plane in Boston. It was I don't know if I posted it to, this wasn't the Uber thing, but this was in addition to.
Yeah.
This was before that. I was getting on the plane in LA at LAX to go to Boston, and I was able to see my partner Witchy for like 2 minutes, because our flight got delayed enough where our and we were in the same terminal, so I got to see her for like 2 minutes, which was great, and it was nice, because I'll take any second, any amount of time, just because of the nature of both of our professions. Yeah. Like, it was like, if it's 2 minutes, I'm taking it. Like, I don't care. Yeah. So got to see Witchy for a brief moment, and then got on the plane, and I was in comfort, but all the bins were had space was taken and there, and then also I was in an exit row. Mm-hmm. So I would have just put my bag underneath.
Right.
Like,
so you had to actually.
So I had to go back to put it above, and then I turn around, and there's obviously a line because people are boarding. I was like, excuse me, I'm gonna cut. And some dude in a Bruins hat is just like, no, you gotta scoot over way. I'm like, what? He's like, no, we're gonna go, and you're gonna wait. I was like, so you want me to scoot over here to the side with my ass and next to someone's head while everybody boards this plane? And he goes, yeah. And I just go, no. and I just start, and I push by, and I just start pushing by him, and he gets like really, really mad. But like people around me in the like in the line and stuff were just like, are we about to be in a TikTok? Are we about to be in a TikTok?
Are we about to be on a viral video?
Yeah. I mean, I would never instigate something like that, but I'd mostly just wanted him to say the ridiculous part out loud.
Yeah.
Which is like, oh, so you want me to wait for 120 people to walk by me?
Which also just generally doesn't make sense because you're also then still in the way.
Yeah.
You getting to your place, while it isn't in the way for the moment, from the long term
it's better.
Overall more beneficial.
But I think he thought that I was just like being like some sort of jerk and putting my bag up there instead of under my seat or something like that. But like, which is fair. That's a very American thing to do.
Which also in reality, because you were in an exit row, you could have waited and had a flight attendant come over and they would have moved somebody else's bag and put your bag closer to you.
True. But
which is kind of a little more shitty, but
they also deal with so much shit already.
Yeah,
where
there's
I don't
no reason to
inconvenience them anymore than they already are.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't know. If you want to see the worst of America, go to an airport.
You can also see the best. I've seen some really good moments at the airport. For whatever reason, I don't know why, but when layovers and I'm stuck somewhere for like an hour or something, I just walk the whole airport like laps.
Oh, I like to see like what there is.
Yeah.
Mostly because I'm hungry. But.
Well, yeah, me too. But also it's just, I've seen some really, really nice gestures at the airport. And
that's
like,
nice. I'm glad you have that vision. I have the other one.
I've seen the bad too. Don't get me wrong.
I have the other issue where it's like they suck for doing that and they suck for doing that. And I probably shouldn't. I should probably have a healthier outlook on things, but
so I very much have like a resting angry face, which you saw in the music video.
Yeah,
it's just
very good. It's very good.
Resting face. But like I try and smile in the airport, but then I'm like, do people think I'm creepy because I'm smiling in the airport?
You're like,
yeah. It's like
it's smile, but at the airport.
Oh yeah, but anyway, we've been over time for a while now, but shit. I've been enjoying the conversation. Because
I knew this would happen.
It's us. But because it's the name of the podcast,
yeah,
I kind of want to do a slight twist on it because I want to ask another question as well. Name of the podcast is Go My Favorite Sports Team. So I'm going to ask you, what's your favorite sports team or player that you support? But I also want to hear necessarily what is like a musician or band. I know you've kind of mentioned it before that is like your favorite right now.
My favorite sports team in the world of music.
Yes.
Yeah. So favorite sports team, easily Green Bay Packers. You know this. Favorite player would have to be Mike Daniels. He was a D-back back in 2016 to 2018. He ended up getting cut because of I want to say a hamstring injury. Never went back to playing with another team, even though he ended up training for it. I got introduced to him because I was at Anime Expo at the Viz Media panel.
Oh.
And they brought him out as a guest panelist, and he was dressed as the Raikage from Naruto. And,
okay.
And then he was like, he plays for Green Bay. I'm like, this is sick. This is so cool. This is like two of like my favorite things like intersecting.
In one place, yeah.
And so I have a Mike Daniels jersey now. I wear all the time. Which he gets to wear the Clay Matthews one. Okay. That's also hanging in my closet. So that's favorite sports team.
Yep.
What else was it?
You did
what were the other two parts of the question?
It was musician and band/musician.
Okay. I think this comes to no one's surprise. My Chemical Romance. Easily. They've been like my favorite band since day one. Just because like Gerard, he's a savant of a creative of our time, just with the way that the current Black Parade tour that they're doing, they took an entire record that is the concept record about a cancer patient dying essentially. And he took that entire record, recontextualized it into a modern political satire based upon what's happening now, which is insane. Just creatively to be able to restructure a story and songs and things to make it work that way. And then also just like every record has been a concept record, except for maybe Bullets, but I think Bullets might have been as well. But 3 Cheers with being you can only be with your love until you kill 100 evil men, and then you get to the end of it to find out that you're the last man. You're the 100th evil man. It's like, and then Danger Days there's a whole comic book series about it. I think it's just one trade actually, trade paperback, but then the entire record is just like, I think it's just about like how famous people just want to be famous and for not doing anything is like one of the through lines for that. And then Frank Iero is like the reason I want to play guitar. Ray Toro's amazing. Mikey's a phenomenal bass player. They've been through a handful of drummers, but just like the performances that they put on is life changing. I got to see them in 2005. I got to see them in 2025. I will always go see this band. I was at their reunion show at the Shrine where they opened with I'm Not Okay. And I cried up until the guitar solo. And I had to stop crying because I was like, Dan, you can't just cry the entire show. You have to have fun. So that would be my favorite sports team in music. But yeah, Green Bay Packers, Mike Kemp. Jordan Love's an amazing quarterback. I'm really excited for this season. We had a very, very, very young team last year. I think we had the collectively youngest team. I think it was the
youngest average age, yeah.
Yeah, so, and we did well. So there's hope, hopefully the wisdom from last year comes into this season. We have almost a basically new receiving core. I think it's the same one as last year, but.
Well, they finally drafted a receiver, so.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's about, now it's time. It's time. We got rid of all the other ones.
Yeah.
No, I'm really excited about it. What are we, 3 weeks out from that?
Roughly.
Yeah. But I
think that's when preseason starts.
No, I think preseason's this month, isn't it? August?
Oh yeah. Hall of Fame game just happened last week. So
yeah. So I don't know if anybody who listens or watches this podcast, if they don't do sports, but
a good amount. We got a mixed variety.
Yeah, I highly recommend picking specifically a football team to enjoy and get to know, because if you can't talk to somebody about any of your preferred interests, they probably enjoy NFL or wrestling, WWE.
That's true. You could pick a favorite wrestler. Some wrestlers have been very disappointing recently in some of the things they've done.
Let's not talk about
we
the end
won't
of
talk
SummerSlam.
about that.
Let's not get into that. But we can talk about Becky Lynch and the Wonder Years having doing her entrance theme together. That's cool.
That is cool.
Yeah. So
I like Joe Hendry.
Oh, Joe Hendry. Yeah. He's phenomenal. I'm still waiting for him to get pulled over to the WWE roster.
Yeah.
But it's gonna happen. It's just a matter of when.
Oh, for sure. He has the popularity, especially since he's blown up and gone viral in a massive way too.
Yeah. I mean, he wrote that theme song. You know that, right?
I know.
Yeah.
I'm well aware.
And then I'm waiting for my favorite sports team, I guess, about this for WWE, Jeff Hardy.
Yeah.
I think he's the greatest wrestler of all time. It's a shame that he had the struggles that he did when he was younger, but he's improving now, which is great. And I'm hoping that he gets another shot to come back to WWE because they're doing a lot of stuff with CM Punk.
Yeah.
I only like to talk about the wrestlers who are not problematic.
Yeah. That's right.
But doing stuff with CM Punk, and they had a big feud way back when, because CM Punk is straight edge and Jeff Hardy was definitely not at the time.
Yeah.
And so I think it'd be very cool to have CM Punk was heel, Jeff Hardy was face, and it'd be very cool to see if there was a switch.
Sides.
Yeah. So we'll see. But both of them are 48. So they probably only got maybe 4-ish years left of I'm sure they'll do more, but being part of the roster and being booked at weekly. I think
opposed to have in the cameo appearences that The Rock and John Cena
and people are getting out earlier too now.
Yeah.
I think Jey Uso is thinking about retiring pretty soon here too.
Yeah.
Just because it's incredibly hard on your body. I don't know where it ranks in the greater echelon of sports physicality or potential injuries, but it's pretty up there. And then the fact that you have people who are are there any professional sports players that are 48 and still playing?
I mean, yeah, that happens occasionally in the NFL. Baseball has it very, very rarely, not much today.
48 in the NFL? Still taking hits?
Kickers.
Oh, well, they don't take hits.
But yeah, it's less common in that. You dedefinitely see it in running though.
Oh yeah. But sure. I'm talking about high impact sports. I don't think a lot of people are jumping off the top rope on their
basketball
back.
or stuff like that. Yeah.
But so we'll see what happens. But they just signed that ESPN deal today. Did you see that?
Mm-hmm.
Everyone's complaining about it. I was like, VPNs exist.
It's true. It's true. All right. And last thing, putting you on center stage.
Okay.
To shout out where people can find you, where they can follow you, how they can support you. Check out his music, phenomenal. If you're into metal or punk or just generally good music, worth a listen.
Thank you.
I was humming
that was very nice.
For a week, I was humming the songs from the music videos we were from recording.
That's good. Hopefully we can get everybody else doing it then.
Yeah, exactly. So
once again, I am boyhero. You can find me at I am boyhero on every social media. You can find me at iamboyhero.com. You can pick up my vinyl for my EP year 1 that came out last year. It's a very pressing. It is not black. It is a very cool, pretty color. Swing in through the comments section, say hi, tune in for a Twitch stream whenever I get around for those. Thanks for having me and letting me talk about running around on stage and other things that didn't pertain to athleticism in any way, shape, or form.
It's all good. It's all good. The whole point was to be able to highlight this and talk about this. We didn't even get into the main topic I was thinking of, was like the athleticism of singing, but you know,
we went through core strength.
We did. Yeah, it was mentioned a few times.
It's just core strength.
No, but definitely go check out boyhero everywhere. Dan, always great chatting with you. If you want to support the podcast, store.gmfst.com or reddit.com/r/gmfst. Also, stay tuned to potentially see me in a music video, so you can see me in another role that you don't usually see.
It could be out now. Who knows?
It could be. It could
Not
be.
me.
But yeah, seriously, supporting independent artists is a big thing, especially in today's day and age. Mark and I talked about AI in the episode before this and a few other things. Supporting people who create and do cool things and are extremely talented and aren't getting the attention they deserve is something that Mark and I heavily believe in. And I truly believe that Dan is one of the most talented friends that I have. And I think he deserves more than he's gotten.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
So.
You too. Thank you for sharing your audience with me and being really nice and a good person. I'm going to go cry. Bye.
All right, guys. I'll see you in the next one. But that's going to do it for this episode. Bye.